NBA fans, welcome back to my channel. Jordan versus LeBron. Whoo, okay, let's talk about this Luca, this Luca madness that's going on. This guy puts up 73 points on the Hawks last night, and that's how it always happens in this era. These guys put up all these incredible points against weak competition, just weak competition in a no-touch era. The NBA should be ashamed of themselves. It's a disgrace. How they're letting these guys of this era break all kind of records. Let's see what they do in the playoffs, because in the playoffs they never seem to show up and put out these kind of numbers. But in the regular season, what this is, it's really a pickup game, or what you would call an all-star game. These guys are one-way players. They play no defense. And as we look at the stat line or the box score, we're going to see Luka had one foul the entire game. The same guy that cries all game about, he got fouled, this and that, and this. He's like a LeBron part two. If you look at it, what these guys do is they try to always be in the middle. They never try to be great at one thing, because if they try to be great at one or two things in statistical categories, that's it for them. They'll be no good. What I'm talking about, like be the best at scoring, win scoring titles, and try to win like a steals title at the same time. But these guys can't do that because they don't have the athleticism. They don't have the heart. They don't have the skill to do that stuff, and they're not in shape. They're not these in shape athletic players that we've been told that they are. And it's just sad. The same thing that LeBron did, that 27, 7, and 7. Joker is doing it. Not the same exact numbers. Luca is doing it. And where's Luca's scoring title? Where's Luca's rebound title? Where's Luca's assist titles? Where's the steals titles? Okay, where's the same thing for Joker. So what these guys try to do is they try to be like in the middle of everything and try to collect all these stats. It's not too impressive to me, because it's not hard to do in a no-touch era. So if they was doing it like in the early 2000s or the 90s or the 80s, that would be like more impressive to me, while they were playing defense. And like I said, Luka had one foul the whole game, and the score was 148 the Mavs and 143 the Hawks. So with all this shooting, 73 points, they barely beat the Hawks. It's pretty sad. They barely beat the Hawks because Luka, he's not playing no defense. He's just out there shooting. This wasn't really about winning a game or, being an NBA player from the start. It was just about, let me see if I can score 75 today. Let me see if I can score 80 points today. That's all it was about. Let me beat this guy's record in the NBA. And when we look back at it, when Michael Jordan had his high scoring games, he was always getting you steals, blocks, playing defense, while he was scoring like 69, 65, 55, whatever it was in the regular season. They were playing good teams. They were playing the Knicks. The Hawks was good back then. The Cavaliers were good back then. These type of teams, every time you saw him get his scoring highs, it was 9 out of 10 times it was against good teams. You look at Luka's highs of his career, it's against bad teams, and that's what these guys do. They get their career highs against bad teams. And look at this. The Hawks let the Mavs 60% field goal percentage and 54.3 from three-point land. And then you look at what the Mavs, they let the Hawks shoot 52% from the field and 44% from three. I mean, wow. And I'm gonna just be serious, and I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm looking at the starting lineup for the Mavs. None of these guys start in the 80s and 90s. I'm just trying to tell you, and probably not in the early 2000s. It's a joke. Um, and I'm looking at the bench players. I'm not too sure most of these guys even make the NBA. The Mavs bench players, and I'm looking at the starters right here for the Hawks. These guys don't even make the NBA in the 80s and 90s, and probably not the 2000s. So you just got a bunch of guys that's getting paid for I don't know what. These guys don't have no fundamentals. You watch the game, or see the highlights where Luca is scoring 73 points. I mean, this guy is just walking down the lane. He can't even jump. He can't even jump over nothing. He can't even jump 2 feet. I mean, he can dunk, but I mean, this guy really ain't getting up. When he's not dunking, he's just toying and playing and carrying the ball and traveling and all this stuff. And this supposed to be the most athletic era of all time, and they can't stop this dude who who is not athletic. I would consider Larry Bird more athletic than Luca Doncic, who plays zero defense. So, like I said, most of these players they score these points because they don't have to expend energy on the defensive side. Look, 143, even though they won, they let their opponent score 143. What? Ooh, boy. So Luca shot 13 threes. Of course, he had 10 rebounds. I mean, in the most athletic era ever, right? A dude who can't even jump off the ground hardly is just boarding up. And this is a point guard. I mean, this ain't Oscar Robertson or nothing like that. I mean, or Russell Westbrook with athleticism. This dude is grabbing 10 rebounds, and this is all season too. It ain't just like, you know, his whole career really. It ain't just like this game. He's getting, all these rebounds. Of course, they're easy rebounds. When you factor in defensive rebounds, he's getting no offensive rebounds in this game. I don't know how he's getting defensive rebounds and he's a guard. How's he down there under Can somebody explain that to me? How's he down there under the goal as a guard grabbing rebounds? Defensive rebounds. I just don't understand that. Over the forward, the power forward in the center of his team, and then the other team too. So let me see, 0 blocks and 1 steal, and that's what I'm talking about. The guy plays no defense. A stat line like this for a great player of the 80s and 90s that would get you like 60 points or maybe 70 points. And we're talking about Kobe. Man, this guy's gonna have like a block, 3 steals or something like that, and definitely Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where Kyrie is. He's always hurt. He couldn't play today. That's like I tell people, these guys are very overpaid, and the only reason why these guys are getting paid this kind of money is so they can jack up ticket prices. People are so dumb. These guys are not worth the money at all. They're not worth the money. They're only getting this money because of the league wants to jack up ticket prices, and these owners they're getting paid more. So no doubt these guys probably are worth half of their contract. That's it. That's it. That's it. They're worth half their contract. When you're just playing pickup ball or an all-star game every game, 148 points. And Luca put up, let me see something. Luca has 73, and then Hardaway had 13, and Green had 21. Let me see here. Trae Young had 30. So Atlanta was playing some kind of defense. When I look at personal fouls, they was fouling, and I don't know if it was to get Luka to the line, because this guy was shooting a lot of free throws. Looks like he shot 16, but yeah, this league is going down the drain. And the easier it gets, the more international players just come into the game. Because, like I told people before, the reason why you didn't have a lot of international players in the NBA in the 80s and the 90s and some of the early 2000s, but mainly in the 80s and 90s, not because they weren't good players, is because you had to earn your shot, earn your points. So you couldn't just come in the 80s and 90s and just walk down the lane like Luca and just get a bucket. You had to earn your points. And I'm not talking about somebody punching somebody or something like that. Yeah, the bad boys did that, but really, they was only doing that to Michael Jordan because they couldn't stop him. So they were showing no skills at all, even though they had skills. Um, they were really only punching and kicking Michael Jordan while he was in the air. Yeah, people was elbowing, and you see all kind of other crap in the 80s and 90s, especially in the 80s. But it wasn't like to the extent that they were doing it to Michael Jordan. Show me all these clips of these guys going up for a bucket and getting punched and kicked and grabbed out of midair. You can't. Only Michael Jordan. That only happened when the Pistons did that to Jordan. Other than that, that really wasn't happening in the 80s. Yeah, dudes was like, get mad and punch somebody and stuff like that because it was ongoing friction and stuff like that. But you never see Magic Johnson go up for a bucket and, get clothesline like that. It was rare, you know what I'm saying? Somebody get pissed off or something like that. But yeah, in the 80s and the 90s, you had to earn your points. Even in the early 2000s, when LeBron was belting down in those playoff games in '07, '08, '09, he had to earn his buckets. And that's today, the NBA is done. It's over, okay? And everybody's getting paid all this money basically for nothing. For playing a AAU game, a pickup game, an all-star game, and stuff like that. And like I said, that's why these European players just come in here and dominate because they don't have to really do a lot but score. That's it. You can get as many assists as you want, many points as you want, many. You probably shoot a million free throws, and break some kind of record. You could do whatever you want in this era. Luka's not that good. I'm trying to tell you. He's been an all decade player back where he's in the Euro League, and he's been playing in he's been playing in this era right here. So it I don't know what to say for these 73 points. It really don't impress me because he didn't really put it up on nobody. Uh, that's really a good defensive team, even though there's no good defensive teams in this era. I mean, LeBron's showing you that him scoring 27 points just walking down the lane, the NBA is trash. And like Bronny will be in the NBA next year. It's trash. It's trash. And they'll be saying, "Oh, Michael Jordan's son never made the NBA." Michael Jordan's sons will be superstars in this NBA. Okay, will be superstars in this NBA because you can get off a shot whenever you want. You're not allowed to play defense. You're gonna get suspended if you practice defense in practice. You'll get suspended. They find out you was practicing defense in practice. So if you want to be impressed by this nonsense, I'm not impressed. You can be impressed. Um, the league should be ashamed. When you look at something like this guy's just walking down the lane with no athleticism and just giving it to dudes. You don't tell me about this. This era is bigger, stronger, faster. None of that stuff no more. It's over. It's over. Joker proved that last year. Luca's proven that Luca's gonna break all these records, and it's just funny. His birthday, he was born 1999 on the 24th. So I just put that out there and let you figure that out. And like I said, these guys couldn't dominate. These guys couldn't dominate in the 80s and 90s. I'm sorry, they just couldn't. They don't. They're not that good. Um, Larry Bird was good. But I think Larry Bird is way better than Luca. Larry Bird had to really play against some good competition. Luca isn't playing against good competition. Never has since he's been in the league. Yeah, they're going to give Luca his time. It's coming up. He's going to get him about 3, 4 championships. That's how it's going to be. Joker's going to get his championships, and because that's the only thing that's keeping this league floating. Really, not American viewership, European and Chinese viewership. That's the only thing keeping this. That's why they keep bringing these Euro players in here, and I would guess Canadian viewership because you got a lot of Afro Canadians in this league too. So man, it's just a disgrace to watch this league. And I don't watch too many NBA games because it's not exciting. It's really not exciting. You don't have to earn your points. It's almost like I don't know. Tell me what you think.